What's going on, everybody? This is David here, back with a brand new video, and I just want to say congratulations to the LA Rams for winning Super Bowl 56. I will make it clear, when they traded Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford last year, I was critical of him. I thought he was a slight upgrade from Jared Goff, but to trade away your future, I thought that was just the baddest move in the world. I mean, until it paid off for him. So I eat crow now. You guys made the right decision letting go of Goff. Not that Goff wasn't a good quarterback, but Goff's contract that they signed him to ate up so much cap space. And when they wanted to win the Super Bowl in their home stadium, and they needed several pieces as they saw they needed, they realized they weren't going to do it with the big contract they were paying Jared Goff. So they saw Matthew Stafford was available. He didn't have a lot left on his contract, so they did it. They did what they did. But I have to say, you know, kudos to the Cincinnati Bengals, though, for the great season you had. How 2 years ago you were the worst team in the NFL, and here you are 2 years later, we're just maybe a play away from winning it all. But, you know, Bengal fans, you have nothing to be upset about. Yeah, you're disappointed you didn't win a Super Bowl. But remember, your team wasn't even supposed to be here. I mean, personally, me, I thought entering this season the Bengals were a team that was going to be in the middle of the pack. Or not even. Maybe they were going to be still one of the worst teams that's still rebuilding. But to go this far to the Super Bowl, I'll tell you one thing. I think the Bengals are going to dominate the AFC North now. I think they'll dominate, and maybe Cleveland is their biggest competitor. But you got a young team in Cincinnati who I think's going to win a couple Super Bowls. And who knows, maybe you'll be the NFL's new dynasty, knowing how cheap Mike Brown could be. And if he could have the players that are willing to take pay cuts to be for a winner, we might see a dynasty in Cincinnati. You just never know. But getting back to the Rams, I'm happy. First of all, for Matthew Stafford, he got out of that hellhole in Detroit, and now he comes to the Rams and gets a Super Bowl win, when Detroit did nothing to bring a Super Bowl there. Poorly ran organization. And he comes to the Rams that basically were in a win right now mentality, knowing that the Super Bowl was in their brand new home stadium, and wanted to be that second consecutive team to host the Super Bowl in their home stadium. They knew they had to do it now, or it was now or never. And all the weapons, you know, he has now, with Odell Beckham Jr., who ended up missing the last couple quarters of the game, and Cooper Kupp, I mean, who didn't play in their last Super Bowl because of the injury. Now he plays in this Super Bowl, and he's MVP with 2 touchdown receptions, including the game-winning touchdown reception. He's the 8th wide receiver to ever win Super Bowl MVP. As you know, it was like, the first was like Lynn Swann in Super Bowl 10. Then it was Fred Biletnikoff in Super Bowl 11. And then I know Jerry Rice won the Super Bowl MVP in Super Bowl 23. And then I know Deion Branch won Super Bowl 39 MVP. And then Julian Edelman won the Super Bowl 53 MVP. And they said 8th, but I can't think of anyone else. But I'll tell you, I really thought Rod Smith should have won Super Bowl 33 MVP. But the Rams really basically wanted to buy themselves a Super Bowl, and they did. Because they knew they weren't going to win it with Jared Goff. Not that he wasn't capable, because I think he's capable of winning a Super Bowl. But because his contract was so high that they didn't have enough. I mean, they wouldn't have been able to acquire Odell Beckham Jr. or Von Miller if they still had Jared Goff. But so now, as I said earlier, I eat crow. But I want to say Also, another people I'm happy for are Aaron Donald, the best player in the NFL, whom I now consider retiring, but I think he's still got a couple good years left. For the game's best defensive tackle, he is definitely the game's best defensive tackle and needs that Super Bowl ring to prove it. I mean, look at Fletcher Cox has a Super Bowl ring, and that's really good. I mean, I think Fletcher Cox is a Hall of Famer. I honestly believe he is, but winning that Super Bowl is definitely going to help his legacy. And Chris Jones, who's the second best defensive tackle, has got a Super Bowl ring. So now it was time for Aaron Donald to win a Super Bowl ring to help his. I mean, he's a Hall of Famer no matter what, but it's going to make people definitely vote him in with that Super Bowl ring, and he deserves one. And my boy Von Miller, I want to say congratulations to you, man. You got out of Denver and went on to the Rams and go win a Super Bowl, because with the number of years you have left and Denver in the rebuild mode that they're in, you weren't just going to win it in Denver, even though I know you wanted to stay with the Broncos. But even though I see him playing for a couple more years, he just, I think he should just finish it off with the Rams. Because look at the Broncos, we basically became the new Jeff Fisher Rams, when the Rams were always a mediocre 7-9 ball club with Jeff Fisher. And Jalen Ramsey deserves a Super Bowl ring. Odell Beckham Jr., I'm not a fan of him. I've never liked the guy. I think he was nothing but a prima donna. But, congratulations to him. Even though he sat out like the second half of the game due to the injury, he deserves it. That's what I have to say. But, to build the Super Bowl, and then Andre Whitworth, he was the tackle for the Bengals for 11 seasons from 2006 to 16 before he joined the Rams in 2017. He might hang him up now because of his age. I mean, with Tom Brady retiring, he's the oldest player in the NFL with Brady retiring, and now he might hang him up, and that means I don't even know who the oldest player in the NFL is going to be now with Brady and Roethlisberger retiring. But kudos and shout outs to him. He deserves a Super Bowl ring. And I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. He only has 4 Pro Bowl selections, and he'll definitely get overshadowed by, especially if he retires this year at the end of this game. But I also want to sit there and talk about how when the Rams looked like they were on fire, they threw that touchdown to Odell Beckham Jr. to begin the game. Then the Bengals got the field goal, and then the Rams scored that touchdown with Cooper Kupp, and then they missed the extra point. I thought, man, that missed extra point might come back to haunt them. But no, it's what they needed. But, kudos, congratulations to the Rams on your Super Bowl win. Second in franchise history and first in Los Angeles. Also bringing the second Super Bowl back to LA, as the Raiders won Super Bowl 18 when they were the LA Raiders. And you do it in your home stadium. It's amazing. And also kudos, like I said earlier, kudos to the Bengals on making it this far. And it just shows what kind of future you have. And it's like, what could the Broncos learn from the Bengals? Or what could any down team learn from the Bengals? It's just you got to rebuild your team. You got to draft young talent. You got to find the right coaches who are going to game plan around players' strengths. But you got to bring young players. You can't just keep signing free agent veterans that you think, like the Washington Commanders, which is going to be hard for me to call them that now, have done for so long. Just kept signing free agent veterans, thinking that they were that's what you're going to win a championship. But no, players get older, they lose their ability, and it's kind of like what the Broncos did after Super Bowl 50. They wanted to keep that team around for too long, but players were getting older, and you just cannot keep getting by with subpar play at your quarterback position, and that's what Elway thought. But good job by the Bengals, and I have a feeling you guys are going to be, you're just going to dominate the AFC North. I mean, after their two Super Bowl trips in the 80s, they went to the 90s as the worst team of the decade. 2000s, they were just underachievers. 2010s, they were underachievers also. They would just get to the playoffs and then were one and done. And now this decade, they might be the new dominant force in the NFL. Who knows? But again, congratulations to the Rams and kudos to the Bengals. And you guys got a great future. So I'll see you guys whenever. Maybe free agency or maybe if a big news story pops up. But until then, this is David. I'm out. Peace.